A new lawsuit will be filed Friday in Georgia over the signature verification process for absentee ballots.
Partly sunny skies with a shower and play.
Today in Ag News on the Southeast AgNet, USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service has developed a new tool to help farmers and ranchers. According to a story from Clint Thompson, it's a tool to help with conservation concerns.
The new Conservation Concerns tool on the farmers.gov website provides farmers and ranchers a central online location to learn about the different types of conservation concerns that might impact their land. These concerns are divided into 6 different topic areas. They include soil, animals, air, water, plants, and energy. Kevin Norton, acting chief for the United States Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service, said the tool is user-friendly. It implements plain language and illustrative photos to aid any farmer or rancher with concerns they might have.
We developed the Farmers.gov Conservation Concerns tool using feedback from more than 30 internal and external customers. These were Farm Service Agency, NRCS leaders, our field service center employees, those folks engaging directly with the farmers and ranchers, and more importantly, we listen to the farmers themselves. Our hope is that this is the beginning of a tool that farmers and ranchers will use to learn more about their resource concerns across their operations and the available resources we have at USDA.
For more information, see southeastagnet.com. For Southeast AgNet, I'm Clint Thompson.
The Environmental Quality Incentives Program, or EQIP, is a continuous sign-up program allowing landowners or operators to apply for financial and technical assistance from many types of conservation practices. And USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service in Florida has made it easy to get more details. Just log on to www.fl.nrcs.usda.gov. You'll find links to more detailed information on the overall EQIP program, or simply stop by your local NRCS office. Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be mostly sunny. High today 80 to 82, then mainly clear skies this evening. Low tonight 63 to 70. We can expect showers tomorrow. Partly sunny skies with a shower in places and a high of 80 to 83. Then Sunday will be partly sunny with a stray shower in the afternoon. High on Sunday 80 to 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Finally, shipping made easy. Just Ship is your answer to your shipping aggravation. They come pick up your package and ship it for you. Birthday gifts, eBay sales, or an online return. Just Ship can handle all of them for you. Act now and you can save 20% on an annual subscription, which will take you through the 2020 holiday months. Go to www.justship.net now and take the aggravation out of shipping.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. Coming to you live from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio, just outside the food court entrance to the Paddock Mall in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida. On the phone lines with me today, as always at the 8 o'clock hour, Galen Unall from Life South joins me, but he's really probably not going to be with us, and his spirit will be here, he'll be here, but his brain is probably already churning on the first playoff game in school history for the Westport Wolfpack. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, what's going on, my man?
I bet that you're getting ready for this Westport football game. First, I didn't realize it was the first playoff appearance in the school history.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so monumental. And again, it's another reason why Coach Steve Grimm is the Coach of the Year for his whatever it is, 6A, 8A. I can't remember what the heck they are right now. But in our area, but I'll be honest with you, I think he's a Coach of the Year in Central Florida. I think he's done a remarkable job there. More bad news came out, though. They've got more kids who are out because of COVID protocols this week, including their quarterback, 2 defensive linemen, their starting running back, and 5 other players. They haven't had a single game this year without some kind of player being out for COVID protocol, which is so amazing because, you look at a team like Vanguard that has had 0 players out because of COVID protocol. And that just goes to show you that when you're in a big school like that, you're going to be impacted a whole lot more.
Yeah, the largest school in Marion County, student-wise.
Right. It's going to be a really, really tough game for them tonight with Spruce Creek, considering they're on basically their 4th-string quarterback now. They were already going to play a sophomore, and I talked to Coach Rim, and he's just not sure what they're going to do. So it's going to be rough because Spruce Creek's a good football team. Tonight's going to be rough.
How is it that and because I never understood this about FHSAA, and maybe I should have understood it, but we never did the playoffs here. We always only did the regular season when I did football here. How is it that Westport, if Spruce Creek's a good football team, I'm confused with who gets home field advantage and how all that works.
Sure. Well, this year it's COVID. And so they decided because some teams they knew were going to be limited football games or not being able to play teams outside their county. So they said, you know what, we're going to do basically a roll of the dice, and every team makes the playoffs. So Westport got 2 breaks. One, they got a first-round bye, which is why they didn't play last week. And they got to host a playoff game, and they knew that back in October when the playoff structure came out. So, it wasn't an earned home team playoff, but I think they would have made the playoffs anyway because their record is pretty good when you look at who they beat and things like that. Being 4-2 is pretty good. And honestly, if it wasn't a COVID year, this team had a real opportunity to be 5-1. If they don't lose their starting quarterback against Vanguard, I think they have a chance of winning that game.
It does seem like every week, while other teams in the county are able to play football, that Westport has been struck with the COVID-19 protocol. More, you hear it more at Westport than any other school in the county.
Sure. Well, they had a teacher get COVID, and basically it wiped out 120 kids in one fell swoop. And then they had one of the kids on the football team get COVID, and that wiped out, I think they lost 33 players, like the second game of the season. Again, it's brutal. It's just been brutal for them. And as I talked to somebody on the basketball team yesterday, if you get sick, what this is telling you is don't get tested for COVID.
Yeah.
Just go home.
Yeah.
Don't get tested. And there's no reason to get tested. There's nothing, if you're really sick, you go to the hospital. I guess you'll find out anyway. But if you just have flu-like symptoms, these kids are running to the clinic and getting tested, and that's pretty silly. from a sports stand, just stay home for 2 weeks. Just don't take out 10 days. Don't take out the rest of your teammates.
From a sports standpoint, it's smart not to get tested, but from a practical sense,
I don't know. Let me ask you this. I think this is a valid conversation, and I'm not saying that COVID doesn't exist. I've never said that. What I'm saying is what's the difference? What's the difference if you have COVID or if you have the flu? Aren't you going to isolate anyway if you have the flu? What are you going to do differently? They're not going to give you any medication because it's a virus, right? You're going to do you're going to get chicken soup and Gatorade for both.
Unless you can't breathe real well, then you get a ventilator.
No, but now we're talking about escalating. No, but a lot of these kids who are getting tested, they all of a sudden lose their taste of smell.
Right.
Or their
Right.
sense of taste.
Right. Well,
So,
I do that when I get the
then
flu.
why get tested?
Yeah, you know.
Sure.
And here's the thing.
With me, every flu hits my chest and my throat.
Here's the other thing. When you go get tested, now they do the contract tracing. Now people who felt perfectly fine and everything, showing no symptoms or asymptomatic, they get tested. Now they got the COVID, and now it's a daisy chain that goes on forever.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. If you know if you're sick, just stay home. There's no reason for you to get tested for COVID.
And by the way, that's
There's
good.
not.
That's good
There's
advice. That's good advice. Period. If you're sick, stay at home. Don't get other people sick.
Right.
Whether you got COVID or not, just stay at home.
Yourself. My wife makes me sleep in another room. If she's sick, she lays right by me. That's the way it is. If your kids are sick, tell them to stay away, and with their little, then they're going to get you sick.
I mean,
you know what that is? That's called life.
Let's be honest. If I got sick, though, and had to miss work for a couple of weeks, would you really want to endure Joe Martone for 2 solid weeks on the radio?
Well, that's when Dan starts calling me and saying, hey, can you come in the studio? And I'm like, I have a job. And he's like, you need to quit your job. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times he's offered me your job. So, congratulations.
Let me tell you something. You don't know how many times in the last 3.5 years I got offered my job back to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's true.
It is.
That's
you know
true.
why? It's because Dan Martone doesn't want to come in and do radio is what it is.
Well, you know, I love the Martones. Joe can't read on the air out loud. Can't do it. It's a physical impossibility. And Dan's an idiot. So neither one of them is really qualified.
Oh, send all your comments.
Joe and I did a show together, and I told Dan, I said, let's see how many times I can get him to read on the air, and how long it takes him to read these things. And so, yeah, in 3 hours I made him read like 8 things, and it was glorious.
Send all your comments to Galen at WOCA.
Yeah, and it was glorious because every time I was laughing so hard he couldn't finish. And I'm not talking like this isn't Shakespeare he's reading, right? This is news copy that's written at the 4th grade level. Fantastic.
Wow.
I love it.
I'm so staying away from that. The man signs my checks. I'm staying away from that.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. Well, I don't get paid. The crazy thing is he likes me doing this. He lets me do it, gives me the airwaves to talk about blood donation, and all I do is rip the whole family.
That's all you do.
No.
You just rip the family.
That's it.
No, you know who
who
we never rip? Because I'm frightened of her. You never rip Dan.
That?
You never rip Dan's wife. I'm frightened of her. You
Missy?
just leave Missy alone.
Missy, one of the great stories is we're having a beer tasting at my house, and my neighbor's over, and we end up, it's me, Dan, and my neighbor just talking in my front yard. And the next thing I know, we were sitting down, and then, yes, Dan did fall asleep in the middle of my yard at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I had no idea because I was apparently just sitting there still talking to him. It was the greatest conversation I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I'm sure.
I love them both. I do. I really do love them both.
They're good people. Good people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Missy is. Missy and Joe is. I'm not talking about Dan.
Yeah, well.
When I say love them both, I guess I should have been more specific.
Thank you. So, anything planned with the family this weekend? Any big plans with the fam?
Yeah, my son will probably have basketball. We're in full swing. Vanguard got another win last night, preseason. But yeah, I mean, Tuesday they go to Gainesville. I really haven't gotten that far yet. I'm going to be honest with you.
No. You just don't get to play golf hardly at all anymore. What are you doing? You just play
golf.
You play just in scrambles. Is that the only opportunity you get?
I don't even play in scrambles since COVID. I mean, literally all I do, and I work, I go to basketball games, and I do football games. That's it. That is literally my whole life.
That it could be fulfilling though if there's enough of it. But
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I at one time when I had 2 boys in 3 sports all at the same time, and I remember telling my wife that in a 7-day time frame we had 11 games.
Ooh.
And I was so thrilled, and they were all over the state.
Oh.
And I was so happy. I don't know. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And yet another reason. I am happy I did not have children.
And I can see you saying that because if you can't miss what you don't have. But when my son graduates from high school, I literally have no idea what I'm going to do with all my time. I mean, I'm I think I'm going to go coach something. I have a buddy that I work with, and his son graduated and is playing college football. And he coached this year, and he goes, man, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's hard to invest all that time when these kids are so just not willing to listen, and you don't fight as hard for them. And I'm like, man, I said, because he's coached, for the last 15 years too. And I coached before my kids were old enough to play. I coached before they were born. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it or not. I'll be old. I'm an old man now. I don't know. I love it though.
Well, you know what we need to do right now? We need to take a break.
Pay some bills.
We need to pay some bills. We'll be right back at this time out on Ocala Talks with Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by our good friends at Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. We'll be right back.
This is the time of year to count our blessings and to give thanks, and at Palm Garden, we're thankful for a lot. We're thankful to work in a place that shows such kindness and caring to people who need our services. We're thankful for the opportunity to learn life stories and celebrate them. Most of all, we're thankful for our precious guests and residents. Unique, different, special, elite. We are Palm Garden.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Friday edition. Thank goodness it's Friday. That means that my Friday golf game will be taking place about 12:30, 12:45 out at Ocala Golf Club. Muni to those of us who know it fondly, Galen. Every Friday afternoon, a group of guys have met for probably 15, 18 years and played golf together, the same group of guys. And last week we had 32 show up to play.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 32 guys. We usually get between 18 and 30 guys every week. And one of the guys is some guy named Falcone. I don't know if you know this guy, but some former teacher, retired teacher. I don't know if you know him or not. You ever heard of that guy?
I don't. No, I don't know him.
You've never heard of Dave Falcone, the teacher, huh?
No, I don't think so.
He shows up.
No.
He shows up and, played a little pro baseball and stuff. He played at the University of Florida back in the day when he was young.
Oh, all right.
I think he's like 104.
All right.
I think he's 104, something like that.
Yeah, I must have missed him.
Yeah, a lot of good guys. Former city councilman John McLeod plays in that group with us.
Well, there you go. Well, it's a reputable thing.
He's a pretty good golfer, too. No, there's no reputable going on. No. Okay? don't just because McLeod's in the group. There's nothing reputable going on in this entire group. None.
You know, I grew up playing Muni. You know, I lived right down the street.
Everybody did.
Right off of 36th Avenue. But I started playing golf when I was 4, and I played there every day. I'll say 6 days a week for from the time I was 7 till the time I was 12.
You know, I wrote an article for Best Version Media, which is the neighborhood magazines that you get around this area. About 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote an article. I had a column in one of the magazines called Mr. Golf, and I wrote an article for the magazine under that title. And I wrote that at the time, he had been passed away about 11 years. I wrote the most influential man in golf in Marion County, and I still believe this to be true today in 2020, just like it was in 2015. The most influential man in Marion County golf, period, is Mr. Yancey, who ran Muni.
Yeah, I agree. I respect that. I was going to say Mike Sullivan, who first professional golfer from Ocala.
Yeah, but Mr. Yancey had a hand in developing golfers from 55 to guys that are 25 now. A 30, 35-year period where Mr. Yancey taught all of you golf.
Yeah, he gave me lessons all the time.
Yeah.
And he did it at I don't think my father ever paid him. You know, he would give me range balls all the time, and you know, we'd make the turn, and he always would be right there, and there would be a group of us, and he'd hand me a lemonade, me and Brian Hawthorne and Albright. He would just give us a lemonade at the turn.
Albright
going, but because back then, kids, you remember kids couldn't play.
Well,
you had to play in these certain hours.
Right. Albright tells a great story, and I actually referenced it in that article. When Albright was like 11 or 12, right around that age, he got angry.
So
he got angry on number 7, and he buried his golf club into the ground and cut a big chunk out of the fairway, and said he put the dirt back in the hole and everything, and immediately left the golf course and drove to Mr. Yancey's office to tell him how sorry he was for you know, tearing up the golf course out of anger. And he said, Mr. Yancey looked at him and goes, "Well, Steve, did the anger get you accomplish anything?" "No, sir." And he gave him a little talk for about 5 minutes and said, "Well, you feel bad enough about this, I can tell, so go on back out there and enjoy golf." But that Steve Albright left the golf course, one of the best golfers in Marion County, period, left the golf course immediately to go apologize to Mr. Yancey because he had hurt the golf course. He had scarred the golf course somehow. And that's how much reverence they kept in their minds about Mr. Yancey and his golf course. Because, by the way, say what you want about Muni, people refer to it as Mr. Yancey's golf course.
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to disagree with one thing you said. Albright's son is the best golfer to ever come out of Marion County.
Well, you may. You know, one of the best golfers to ever come out of Marion. One of the best golfers ever to come out of Marion County gave up the game of golf to be a doctor. Did you know that?
Who?
Cooper George.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And Cooper will come home now.
Yeah.
Cooper will come home now from the University of Georgia, and they'll have some games at Muni and everything. I say, "Cooper, how much you getting today?" He goes, enough to keep me in enough spending money at Georgia to last for a while." And he says that when he's playing with the Albrights and the Lovells and everything, enough to keep me in money at Georgia.
Sure.
I remember he was club champion. He was club champion at Golden Ocala at 16 years old.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Albright was the best golfer for a very, very long time. You know, he got a full ride to UNC. So you know, he was, and I quit. Had some, you know, my aunt and uncle died. There's that whole story. You can Google it. But and so I just quit. I decided I didn't want to play anymore. Sometime between like 11 and a half, and he got great. And he and Brian Hawthorne just took it to another level. And I just, I'm amazed at their golf swings now. So
well, Steve, Steve finished as a guy over 50 years old, finished in the top 3 in the city amateur, playing guys in their 20s this year.
Sure did. If when I've known Steve my whole life. We went to kindergarten together. I mean, I've known the kid a long time. And when you watch him swing the golf club, you realize God put him on earth to appraise property
and swing a golf club. 100%.
Not in that order. So, yeah.
But that's what I mean is you got guys like Albright, and you got like Brian Hawthorne, you got Drew Diddy, and you got Matt Giovanelli and Joel Durrance, all of them who learned as small kids. They're all in their late 20s through their late 50s. All of them learned to play golf. Of course, their dads helped them along, but Mr. Yancey was a very big force in all their golfing lives.
Well, Diddy didn't start playing golf till much later, but yeah, you're absolutely right. So Diddy was just a great athlete, great baseball player.
Diddy was a good baseball player. He was a good baseball player.
Yeah, another class of '88, the boys of '88. So yeah,
that's a bunch of young kids to me. Class of '88 was. I graduated class of '84.
Did you have paper back then, or did you?
No, it was papyrus. It was papyrus.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was papyrus or what is it? Belly? What do you call the sheepskin stuff?
Yeah, we had papyrus with scrolls. It was.
There you go. Yeah.
Writing in old English.
Ye. Everything started with ye.
Was that not the? We got a minute left, but we'll talk about this at a later time. But anytime I had to read Shakespeare in English class, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, reading is all you had to say. Reading is horrible.
No, I loved reading. I still read a bunch today, but just the whole ye and thou and I couldn't do it. Hey, speaking of something I can't do, I can't tell people. Speaking of something I can't do, I can't tell people where the Bloodmobile is today. Where is it today?
Hey, today we're going to be out in the shores at the Walmart out there, so please get up there, get the life, donate blood.
Galen Unall joins us every day from Life South. Galen, thanks so much for being here this morning.
Yeah, hey, you're the best. Thanks, Tom. Have a great weekend. Bye, y'all.
Galen Unall, he'll be on the call tonight for the Westport Wolfpack's inaugural playoff game. First one ever in school history. Make sure to check that out. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Joe Biden has unofficially been declared the winner in the state of Georgia. Because Biden's margin of victory is less than 0.5%, the Trump campaign can request a recount after the results are certified. The state has until Friday to certify results. Rudy Giuliani, leading President Trump's legal team, on Thursday continues to produce evidence of widespread election fraud in affidavits from Michigan poll observers.
What they swear to is that at 4:30 in the morning, a truck pulled up to the Detroit center where they were counting ballots. The people thought it was food, so they all ran to the truck. It wasn't food. It was thousands and thousands of ballots. And they're estimated to be a minimum of 60,000, maximum of 100,000. Many of them were triple counted, which means they were put into the counting machine this way. Once, twice, 3 times.
USA Radio News.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629